Hello, young artists. My name is Miss Marquetta. I'm a textile artist and I'm a quilter, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Quilters make their art with fabric and needles. Now, I thought that I'd share a few quilt blocks with you. Quilters call them blocks because they put them together to make a quilt, just like you take blocks and build structures and bridges and things with them. Now let's look at this block. It is called the house top block. And I think it's because this shape right here that looks like a square is the roof of the house. Now my friends, this block is made up of rectangles, and it has a little square in the middle that is black. And you can see some of the stamped designs too, like the triangle and the squares that are in a row. This block has a rectangle in the middle, and it has squares that are made up of two triangles. This block has lots of colors in it. This block is called a 9-patch block. Let's count the patches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's look deeply at this block. It has 8 triangles. Let's look at this one. You can see them really well with the black and white paper. Look at this. This is made up of 4 triangles. Look at this block, my friends. It is made with 1 red square. Look at that block. This block is made of triangles. They call this block a 4-patch block. This block is really interesting because the squares seem to move in a diagonal line. What are you gonna use to make a quilt block? We need paper, paper, paper. We're gonna use some recycled paper. This is a box. Look what I found. A piece of green paper. You could even use newspaper. Here are some fancy art papers, colored paper that you could even use. And look, I found a special piece of art paper that I could use. And these are different types of papers that you could probably find around the house that you could use to make your paper quilt block. Now, when we get ready to make our paper quilt block, we need shapes, triangles, squares, and rectangles. And I'm going to cut some. But I want to show you a special artist trick to show you how you could make multiple shapes. I'm going to fold this paper in half. And then I'm going to fold this paper into 4s. I think I want to cut some round shapes. Because I have folded this paper into halves and 4ths, I'm going to be able to cut out 4 circles at the same time. Watch me. And I'm going to go around. There you go. Look, I created 4 circles. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm looking at this paper. I see this part right here has a lot of color in it. So I'm going to cut this out of the newspaper. If you don't have scissors, you could tear your newspaper. I'm going to show you how I cut a square. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of paper and I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to get my sides lined up, and then I'm going to press it. And I'm going to use my girl power, and I'm going to press it. Then, my friends, I'm going to open that up and I'm going to press it again. Look. And then that's going to give me a straight line right down the middle. And so then I could just take my scissors and cut it. And then watch what I do. I'm going to fold this in half. Press, press, press. Press, press, press. Then watch. I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to have 2 big squares. And I'm going to make this rectangle into 2 squares. Fold it, press, press, press. Then I'm going to cut. I have 4 circles and 4 black squares. Now what I'm going to do is take my glue stick and I am going to glue them onto my white paper. This is a special glue stick because the glue is purple. That way I'll know it's on the paper and it dries clear. Now before we start gluing things down, let's create an interesting design with our shapes. Let's start with our squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you like that design? I think it's cool. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put glue on the back of the squares. Now I'm just going to do this one to show you, my friend. But just remember, you have to glue down all of your pieces. Now just imagine that they're all glued down. Then our 4 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have 4 squares and 4 circles to create our quilt block. I found an art supply that you might have at your house, and that is some stickers. So let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 circles. Now, my friends, we have a paper quilt block that we made with squares and circles. Quilters use quilt blocks and put them together to make bigger quilts. Let's look at this quilt. It is made of blocks that have been created by using strips of fabric. And we could see a lot of colors in this. And this quilt was made with blocks. Young artists, let's look at this quilt. It is made out of blocks too. But these blocks are long rectangles, and each block has a house in it. And when we look at the border on the side, we see triangles. And each one of these blocks is made of 8 triangles. Finally, my friends, let's look at this quilt. This quilt is made of blocks too. And the blocks are square. And they are made up of 4 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4. and I sewed the triangles together and they became a square. Now this quilt has a lot of colors in it, some yellow and blue, some brown, and even some green. I really love it. It's a special quilt made out of blocks. So my friends, thank you so much for sharing this moment of creativity with me. I appreciate your focus and your attention, and I'm looking forward to getting together with you again and being creative. So have a nice day, my friends. Bye-bye.